holiday season is in full swing, which can only mean one thing. It's time for some cookies. I'm super excited today to be participating in Kin Community's cookie collaboration with dozens of awesome YouTubers like Mind Over Munch and My Virgin Kitchen, Coral TV, Entertaining with Beth, The Grey Boxwood, and so many more. Now, every day until Christmas, we're going to be posting new cookie recipes. How cool is that? And for my part in the collaboration, today I'm gonna show you cookies in a jar, 5 delicious ways. What I love about cookies in a jar is not only do they result in really yummy cookies, they also make an incredible gift for the holidays. The full recipes for all of these cookies in a jar are available in the description box below, so be sure to take a look. It's also really important when you're giving these away as gifts to include all of the instructions so that the recipient knows how to bake the final cookie. For these tasty cookies in a jar, we are using 1-quart mason jars. You can certainly use larger mason jars, but you don't want to use anything smaller because you won't have enough room for all of your tasty ingredients. So let's get started with my chocolate candy cane cookies in a jar. So for these cookies, we are going to start with our flour. To that, we are going to add some baking powder and some baking soda. I like to pre-whisk these together really well to make sure that the final cookie has even lift throughout. Then I'm going to add some brown sugar and some white sugar. I'm using both kinds of sugar because I think they make for prettier layers in the jar. To that, I'm going to add some crushed candy cane and finally some chocolate chips. This is going to make such a minty, chocolatey, delicious cookie. Whoever gets this gift is going to absolutely love you. Next, we're going to make white chocolate cranberry pistachio cookies in a jar. So it all starts with that same flour mixture. We're gonna add our baking powder and our baking soda, whisk it together really well, and in it goes into the jar. Then we're going to add our brown sugar, our white sugar, and top that with some dried cranberries, some white chocolate chips, and finally some crushed pistachios. Now, I love using pistachios in this recipe because they're so gorgeous and green, and of course the red cranberries and the green pistachios look so pretty in the jar. But if you can't find pistachios, you can go ahead and use pecans. They will be equally delicious. We're gonna put on our lid, and there you go. You have these gorgeous seasonal cookies in a jar. Next up, we have our chocolate peanut butter pretzel cookies in a jar. So we're starting with our same flour mixture, some baking powder and some baking soda. We're gonna whisk that together really well and into the jar it goes. We're gonna top that with some brown sugar and some white sugar. Then to our jar, we are going to add some peanut butter chips, some chocolate chips, and top that with some crushed pretzels. And oh my gosh, the final cookies are so salty, sweet, and delicious, they will absolutely blow your mind. Next up, our cookies and cream cookies in a jar. Yes, I said double cookie because we are actually using crushed up Oreo in this recipe. How outrageous is that? It all starts off with the very same flour mixture, some baking soda and baking powder to make sure we have lots of lift. Then we are going to add our brown sugar and our white sugar and a whole heaping helping of crushed Oreos. We're gonna top that with some white chocolate chips for good measure, and there you go. Cookies and cream, cookies in a jar that are absolutely irresistible. Double cookie, double chocolate goodness. Finally, I wanna show you these super sweet classic gingerbread cookies in a jar. So for this recipe, we're actually going to use double flour. So in our first bowl of flour, we're going to mix in our baking powder and our baking soda, the same way we did with our other recipes, and into the jar that's going to go. Then we are going to add all brown sugar, no white sugar in this recipe. Finally, to our second batch of flour, we are going to add all of our classic gingerbread spices. So I've got some tasty ginger, cinnamon, cloves, allspice. We're gonna whisk that into our flour really well to make sure it's all super well incorporated, and then into the jar it's going to go. What I really love about cookies in a jar is that once they're put together, you can decorate them however you like. I like to adorn these classic gingerbread cookies with, of course, a classic gingerbread man. I hope you'll give these adorable gifts a try, and if you do, be sure to tweet or Instagram me a photo because you know I love seeing your creations. And of course, be sure to check out all of the other delicious recipes in this Ultimate Cookie Collab playlist. Trust me, your taste buds will not regret it.